Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
You got that right.
Good. I should hope that I know your name reasonably well by now.
We have been friends for many years.
Many, at least 3.
At least, I was going to say, at least 6. Because we've been doing this podcast for 2017.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if we were technically friends for the first, 2 to 3 years of the podcast. We were sort of more
acquaintances.
Yeah. Those early days.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. We've been friends for a long time. What are we doing tonight, Trevor?
We are doing some Ramped Up Click Pitch, which is a game where we each have a random word generator. On the count of 3, 2, 1, we're going to get an adjective and a noun. We're going to smash them together and come up with a lovely game baby that we'll nurture until we throw it out with the bathwater and do another one.
That's right. So let's jump right in. 3, 2, 1, click.
Miraculous. Doomed.
Ooh. Plain fiddle.
Ooh. A miraculous fiddle.
Yeah.
On a plane that is doomed. Now, is that a flying plane or is it just plain?
Just a plane. It's P-L-A-N-E.
Okay.
So it's either a flying plane or
it's a flat
tool
surface.
in the workshop. Well, yes, or a tool that you use to make a flat surface.
A single-sided flat surface.
I like the idea of the fiddle. The fiddle is historically
used to battle the devil. Yes.
Yeah, but I feel like it comes up in different mythological things, or at least it gives that that sort of idea. So I do like, maybe like a plane that's going down and the devil comes or a demon comes or something and like offers a deal to save it or something.
Well, I'm thinking that the reason why the fiddle is quite often used, and what you don't realize, is this particular fiddle is a miraculous instrument. Like it's an instrument of God. Quite literally, it's God's fiddle.
It's God's fiddle. Fiddle of the gods.
Yes. It turns out that the devil has always been trying to get at this thing, and you think that you're saving all these people on here by handing across the fiddle to the devil, but really you've just doomed.
You've doomed the
planet,
whole plane of existence.
And so you, as the last of your bloodline,
is that relevant?
I think you're a distant, and I'm talking distant relative of God, in the fact that you're one of Jesus's many descendants. And that just happens to be the only reason why you didn't get, taken straight to hell.
Right.
When Helen...
There was some sort of protective force from your blood.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so is this is some sort of adventure-y thing to get back the fiddle then? Is this all the opening cinematic?
Yeah, pretty much. You
throw it into hell.
The prologue is you on a plane, fiddle in the seat next to you, kind of like that scene in Kill Bill where the bride is traveling and she's literally got the sword out and proud. Yeah, this is that scene, but with a fiddle. It's strapped in, and as the plane starts nosediving, the one of the stewards comes up, and it turns out this guy's got horns and has a rather red tinge to his face, and he goes, "Tell you what, sir, if you give me that fiddle, I will make sure this plane doesn't go down, because if you've noticed, we are rather vertical at the moment."
Just going straight down. Yeah, I like that. What were you doing with the fiddle in the first place? Did you know it was God's fiddle, or are you just I think classical violinist who has happened to inherit it in some way?
You happen to come from a long line of classical fiddleists.
Right. So it's being handed down.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. This feels like maybe like a Metroidvania.
Yep.
Through different areas of hell. And I wonder if there are different instruments that you pick up along the way.
They're all stringed.
Okay.
Although I do kind of like the idea of a pan flute.
Yeah, I don't think they need to all be stringed. I think just different orchestral instruments is fun.
Yeah.
You pick up a flute and that, like, you know, it's like a...
Pick up a flute, pick up a lute. What else?
Pick up some fruit.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with the orchestra. That's just, you know.
That's just how you get health back. That
Yeah.
You eat, like, good quality fruit, not the rotten fruit that you normally find.
In hell.
In hell, yeah.
Maybe the flute brings back the fruit.
Yes. And it turns out that's its secret power. It can, like, ripen fruit because
It's all things that rhyme.
Yes.
So the flute brings back fruit. The cello makes the enemies mellow.
And turns their knees to jello. Yeah.
Yeah. And their ears yellow.
Mm.
And in the end, you want to get the fiddle because you're really hungry and you want to cook something on a griddle.
Yeah. One of the things that you got to be very...
it's because you need to restore the middle, which is like between heaven and hell.
Yes.
It's the middle realm.
That is perfect. That is actually really good. You just got to be very careful with the guitar because it'll just give you a severe smoking, like, habit because of all the tar. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going for cigar.
Which also would work well. Which also works. I should have just shut up. I was just going to go. It gives you a really nasty nicotine addiction.
That's kind of fun. The rhyming thing's dumb, but I did in a fun way. I do kind of like that idea there of gathering these different instruments to then, as is often the case, unlock, you know, in a very Metroidvania way, unlocking the different areas. So, yeah, I mean, my original thought with the flute actually was that it, like, creates some sort of upward lift because it's a very kind of high, like, floaty sound, and that, you know, lets you enable gusts of wind upwards to get to places that you wouldn't be able to reach. The cello is more of a, you know, low note, sustained thing that maybe it, like, rumbles through and breaks down rock barriers or something.
Yeah. The final battle does get a little bit messy because it's all about the drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of those plums.
No, I was going to say the devil comes.
Oh.
And 3, 2, 1, click.
Yes, please. Title of the episode.
The devil comes. COMES.
No. That doesn't rhyme. I mean, it still does rhyme with drums. But we'll just call it the devil's drums. Only we'll know. All right. 3, 2, 1, click.
Exaggerated qualifier.
Oh, bananas conduct.
Ooh.
I like using bananas as the adjective, as I guess it's supposed to be in this case. I'm just like, this is totally bananas.
It's unlike the previous game, which was very, very serious.
Oh, absolutely.
This one
deadly serious.
Is very, like, on the nose. Like, it's jokey.
Yeah, so what was yours? Exaggerating what?
Exaggerated qualifier.
Yeah. Qualifier. Okay. I had a conduct in there, which I almost want to go the orchestra again. Like a conductor. Or maybe a different sort of conductor, like a train conductor.
I was thinking, what if this was a wacky race? And you've qualified for this wacky race. Hence, you know, the Herbie goes bananas sort of thing of.
Oh, okay. I was thinking when you said a wacky race, I was thinking wacky races.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, kind of Herbie sort of like anthropomorphic cars, or at least one of them that's qualified for this race. And it's sort of like a race around the world as a car. That could be kind of cool.
Around the world?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing different... Because around the world would be less like... Presumably you're not all head-to-head the whole time. It would be more strategic about getting places fast.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you think of Tour de France, which is, you don't really get ahead of anyone, but what you're actually doing is you're vying for...
Because it's more of a marathon sort of...
Yeah, it's a marathon thing. Around the world is just you're going to do all these different races throughout.
Oh, I see.
Throughout
You're
the world.
You're not literally trying to just get from one place and go around the entire world the fastest.
I think how far you get in a day sort of gives you the feel as to, where you start the next day and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. So it's more, you're extrapolating your performance from a single race sort of thing. It's like, okay, we're doing Italy. And, I mean, how big's Italy? Can you get across Italy in a day? In Europe, they're all tiny countries.
I mean, in Australia, you can, go from Melbourne to Adelaide, and it's not even a quarter of the way across the country.
Yeah.
That's one day.
What are the sort of obstacles? What's the difference between the races then in different, are we, theming them in different ways based on where you're racing?
Yeah. I think there's definitely got to be a race in the outback, and you're dodging kangaroos and trying to get around those nasty drop bears and hoop snakes and all the regular Australian wildlife.
Yeah, the stuff we do every day when we go to the shops.
Yeah. So just got to be very careful about being too stereotypical. So they don't quite drop as many C-bombs as what you normally expect them to.
Stereotypically. Yeah. And
it's only about 7 times in a minute, and
we only have 5 corks on our hats.
Yeah.
Not the 12 that they always put.
Oh, God. So derogatory,
Yeah.
12.
And then so the Italian level, you're driving on pasta roads,
yes,
and dodging meatballs, not being stereotypical at all.
Just be very careful in Spain, where you've got all the paella,
and you're running from
constantly
the
being thrown at you, and you're running against bulls. Yeah,
You're riding bulls.
Yes, you're riding bulls. And in America, you're just getting shot at the entire time.
Yeah, definitely. And for some reason, still riding bulls. It's weird. Maybe this is all one race. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that wacky that you drive through these different areas of
you drive through a portal. And then you're all of a sudden driving through the past roads of Italy.
It's almost, you know what it is? It's almost like the WarioWare of racing games, where you've got, 5 seconds to sort of figure out, oh, okay, I'm on a bull and, oh shit, there's fucking beans and rice being thrown at me.
And you get asked at the end, name the countries from... From left to right,
after you've gone through
them all, you got to go, okay, that rather normal deserty level, that must be Mexico. And then, the one with all the drop bears, that was definitely Australia. One with all the sheep shaggers, that was definitely New Zealand. Oh, no, sorry, that was Australia too. Damn it.
Yeah, as in not TOO, but the number 2, the sequel.
Yeah. It turns out that was Australia.
New Zealand was the one with all the hobbits.
Yes, exactly. You know that New Zealand...
Shagging sheep.
New Zealandia.
New Zealandia.
is Middle Earth.
I'm going to say 3 Tron Click.
God, this doesn't bode well for the rest of the night, does it?
No, it does not.
Dear listeners, we're currently recording 3 episodes in a row, so sorry.
Simultaneously, actually.
Yeah, simultaneously.
It's going to be weird.
Hopefully the next 2 episodes aren't completely...
It could go in one
unusable.
of 2 ways. Just go completely off the rails, or we get so tired that...
We mellow out.
Yeah, completely, useless.
You played that cello, so that's why we mellowed.
Cello! Okay. 3, 2, 1, click. Shouted breach.
Jammed survival.
Ooh.
So breach, you said.
Yeah, but you said jammed, and that makes me think of, jamming out in a band. Because then shouted as well kind of gave me just a, powerful vocals vibe.
Okay.
So maybe this is...
A jam band surviving during an apocalypse and trying to stop their hideout from being breached.
Okay, during the apocalypse is interesting. I was thinking maybe you fell through some sort of breach in, the dimensions into something else. But no, post-apocalyptic is interesting. Using your heavy metal music to, fend off. It's a Kuridas game, basically.
Okay. You were jamming out. All the guys from Kuridas all jamming out together in the shipping container.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I think we'll not give them names, even though we
this
know
is
the most
fictional alternate history version of Kuridas.
Yeah. So anyway, the most handsome one, the bass player, he unnamed, but he steps out after doing this amazing bass riff, steps out and he's just in this wasteland.
Right, so they were playing so loud and so hard that they didn't notice the world collapsing outside of their jam space. Yeah,
they thought the 13-hour bass solo was just this amazing thing, and it had all these layers, but it turns out that a lot of those layers were actually
the drums. Funnily enough. Oh, and also earthquakes and asteroids and
everything else.
The dinosaurs are back for some reason, and then they died again
within that 13-hour period. It was nuts.
Yeah, and we missed it all because we were just in the zone. They,
sorry, not us. So
this is not a self-insert video game. It's about a different handsome bass player.
Exactly. This one doesn't have a grey beard. This one's got short hair and a darker beard. Not as big a gut. In fact, it looks very much like the one that's actually on the album cover. Album cover.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you make your way out into this wasteland and you're surviving. Is this actually like a survival game with kind of
you got 3
heavy
meters,
music?
You got 3 meters. You've got thirst, hunger, and jamitude.
Right.
So,
and if you go too low
on jamitude, that's when you start falling apart, as in the whole band reality falls apart in reality.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
As in the band breaks up.
The band breaks up.
You don't get along anymore.
And that's the end of the game because
the music is all that's holding you together.
Exactly. literally. Because if you don't play, then all your atoms just dissipate.
Just dissipate.
Yeah.
It's like all of our games tonight are barely games.
I think all our games for the last 6 years have been barely games, but tonight is the most barely of them.
Yeah, tonight the atoms of the games are barely being held together. Yeah, not jamming hard enough.
In fact, one of the things that happens in the middle of the game, turns out that the song Kuradust, where we find out the band has super rock powers, they wrote it after the game because it turns out that they had these super rock powers of, the bass player being able to go through solid objects and all this sort of stuff by vibrating himself through it, and then whatever the other two had. you had the power to.
I think I
command.
could command. Yes.
Yeah.
And when I say I mean the vocalist.
No, I mean the vocalist.
Kuradust.
Yeah, the vocalist of this fictional band.
And I think the guitarist could just
control electricity and shit. And
I think it's melt things. Yeah, just create energy basically.
What could the robotic drummer do?
The robotic drummer is it's our little companion. It's an actual robot.
Yeah, Sparky.
With drumsticks. It can switch its hands to be drumsticks,
Good old Sparky.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, click. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck.
Ecological University.
Steady climate.
Okay. I think, though, that this is the university for, the creatures of the forest or something. It's
yeah. It's ecological U, of
the
course.
nymphs and the fairies
it's the well-known
gnomes.
It's the well-known university of all the fairy folk.
Mm-hmm. But the climate change
is part of the emergency.
Yes, is starting to affect them.
So I think
it's Fern Gully University.
And when we play an exchange student.
Okay. From the human world?
From the human world. Cassandra, she's been
okay.
This is the year after we found out about ecological U.
Well, they approached us because the climate crisis had gotten so bad, they needed to sort of make themselves known.
She's one of the 13 lucky humans that have got to transfer onto good old EQ.
Yep.
And so there's also another 13 nymphs and druids
that have gone
and stuff that have gone to
human universities.
Yeah. Funny thing is that
cultural exchange.
They chose Greendale Community College because the whole green thing. But
yeah, so throughout the game, you just you just hear stories of the chaos that's happening. They're trying to learn stuff about the human world to figure out how to change the climate crisis, but instead they're getting shot with paintballs.
And the only history class is history of ice cream, and
yeah.
Turns out they really love that
Which,
class.
I mean, yeah, they don't have ice cream in their world, so
win-win. So, okay, the game is actually very much like Bully.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, an open world-ish. Do you get? Is this because I'm picturing all of these creatures as small, right? Diminutive in size.
Yep.
Have you been shrunk down?
No, I think they do kind of tower over, so they've got to kind of duck down as they're walking through.
Okay, so they're not sit in the palm of your hand size, these fairies and gnomes and things. They're halfling
size.
It's
probably, about your rib height.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine.
And so they've really got to stoop down to get through the halls of this university.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, they had relatively high ceilings already for the fairy folk.
For the fairy folk,
you,
yeah.
You do have to stoop a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Just enough that, if you went in crouching, you'd be too low. So you just got to stoop.
No, you just have to be uncomfortable the entire time. Very uncomfortable. Come out of this with a very bad back.
Okay. I picture that there's like a gang of nymphs and druids who really don't like the human folk.
Well, I mean, they blame humans for the crisis.
Yeah.
And despite you being, relatively young and have, fought for climate change, for climate progress your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a human.
Yeah.
They discriminate against you.
Yes.
Are you learning magic and stuff, or are you more learning is there forest magic that you're learning?
Yeah, I think you're learning about energy and how it gets transmitted between
sort of a deeper insight into the way of nature and the forest.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that comes out is very Forcey powers, like as in very Star Warsy. In fact, Cassandra references Star Wars a lot, and they don't get her references. They think that
right.
She's just really, really, clever.
Weird.
And the fact that she's able to.
Oh.
Well, I'm thinking that. Oh wow!
It helps her to sort of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she learns how to propel the forest energy in a physical manner, she's just like, oh, it's like force push.
Yeah. It's like force push. Okay. Yeah. We're moving matter away from us.
It's a nature shove. What, like, force push? What is this?
And it's like, and then when you want to bring things towards you, you just do a force pull like this. And it's like, no, that's a yank.
No. Yeah. you yank it. It's easy. Like, what? Stop using these weird words.
But she's amazing at it. Like, she connects the energy between, she notices that when she taps into the magic, into the energy between these trees, like she can just reharness that energy and pull energy out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, I think you definitely go along with a bit of the kind of chosen one story of you come in here and you're a natural at this, you're more powerful than anyone's ever seen. There's never been a human this connected to nature before. And then you bring that back out into the human world. And they probably kill you and dissect you.
Yeah.
And the climate crisis continues.
Yeah, and that's just like...
It's a very depressing game.
It's a very depressing ending.
It's very fun and whimsical throughout most of it. And
it's just...
The ending just...
It stabs you in the heart and just twists that knife and twists it some more and sort of does a 720 sort of twist. Yeah. Like...
The classic Tony Hawk 720 knife twist.
Yeah, the 720... In fact, I think he does even a 980 or whatever the fuck 900. He does 900 because he was the first one to do a 900.
Yeah, and he does it in your heart with a knife.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Tony Hawk is like one of the exchange students that he's a hawk and his name's Tony. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's one of the exchange students that's in the human world. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big misunderstanding as to why he stabs you in the heart with a knife and spins into 900 degrees, but it's because he's taken on too many human attributes and he now he's bought into capitalism. He's gotten very rich while he's been out here.
And he's a really good skateboarder.
Yeah, well, the wings help.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Nice quick one.
Eligible telescope.
Obstructed squash.
Okay. I mean, telescope and obstructed, obviously, related and... certain ways.
I really like this as it's just a single screen adventure.
Okay.
And all you're trying to do is just clear the telescope so you can...
Right, like see some celestial event.
Yeah, so see the celestial event, but there's just shit that's in your way. You know, it's obstructing your view of the cosmos. And
there's stuff that's outside. Like, are you in... Where are you? Are you outside? Like, on your lawn, like, trying to look up and things keep... getting in the way?
Things literally obstruct your vision in the sky rather than... I was thinking that you're in a observatory, but it's like something's happening. But no, I love your idea about it's just a backyard guy, and
it's like someone's fucking like in a hot air balloon or something, or I don't know, like cleaning, like up on the power poles. Doing, I don't know, like, yeah, like there's just shit that keeps getting in the way.
I love that your neighbor, like, yeah, I've just chosen this time to give my jetpack a go. And he's just flying around on a jetpack.
Just right in front of, the alignment between Jupiter and Saturn or whatever.
And then your other neighbor goes, hey, I just got the brightest flashlight. He turns it on and turns it as bright as day.
That's it, like there's light pollution. There's people just distracting you, like bumping the telescope. Like you can't set it straight. Like someone's out there fucking walking their dog or something and the dog's running around and keeps bumping the telescope.
Of course, you're in a pumpkin patch.
Okay,
squash. And you got to be very careful because they're your mum's prized pumpkins.
Oh, so you're going to say the Great Pumpkin. It's Halloween and the Great Pumpkin comes and floats up in front of your telescope.
That does happen at the end, but, we don't have to give away the end of it. But I was just thinking because, squash and pumpkins, they are kind of similar root vegetables. Are they root vegetables? No. No, they're on a vine,
squash,
so
I think. Like, isn't that the... Yeah. I think a pumpkin is a squash.
Yeah. And they're on vines, so they're not actually... Yeah. But still, I think that's really great. You've got, the pumpkin patch. You've got, you got to be very careful about all the people who are trying to come in and steal your mum's prized pumpkins because it's Halloween next week.
Right. Well, that could be one of the obstacles, like teenagers coming to steal Halloween pumpkins. And yeah, I think just like a series of these interruptions that you're solving.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you solve them all? That's when
the great pumpkin comes.
It turns out you're actually trying to just like peeping Tom, the neighbor or something. It's not actually a celestial event at all. It is a celestial event. Her name's Celeste. And you're just a horrible peeping Tom.
God.
Mom,
so good.
I'm just to see the celestial event.
You leave that poor girl alone.
Glad I taught you better than this.
Credits.
We don't condone peeking in people's bedrooms at all.
And in fact, that's why he gets in trouble, and that's why,
yes,
even the Great Pumpkin,
The Great Pumpkin is there. Like, it's trying to warn him off being a perv.
Yeah. That's the end of tonight's episode.
That's the end of the episode. If you would like to find all of our previous episodes online, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. Shoot us a review. Let us know what you thought.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, you're in luck. That song is a song called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by this mystical band called Kuradust.
You may have heard us reference them.
Which we referenced before. Like, it's an actual band and it's actual music that you can go listen to right now. Just go to kuradust.bandcamp.com and you can hear like a whole song instead of just a 30 seconds snippet.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. And I'm the devil and I drum.